Hey fellow dadpreneurs, Adam Dukes here, and in this video I'm going to share with you how to increase your Facebook return on investment by 300% or more. A bold claim, I know, but hear me out. I'm going to go back with the dating analogy that Gary Vaynerchuk made popular 6 or 7 years ago. Dating and marketing are very, very similar. In dating, there should be like a courting process. However, with marketing, a lot of people are trying to sleep with the prospect on the first date. Again, the dating analogy. And that's what 98% of people that are advertising on Facebook are doing. They're going right for the sales call. They're going right for the appointment on a completely cold audience of people that you have never spoke with. And then people complain that Facebook doesn't work. Now, I'm just as guilty of this too. I'm not saying I'm Mr. Perfect here. I fall into this trap because, to be honest, it's the easy way. It's the lazy way. This way right here that I'm going to break down for you, it's not a new way in any sense. It's content marketing, basically. Frank Kern calls it intent-based branding. Dennis Yu calls it his $1-a-day strategy. All very, very similar. It's leading with content, leading with value, but there's 3 phases to a buyer's journey. And actually, inside of Facebook, they break it down. There's 3 types of ad objectives, and it's these 3 right here. There's the awareness phase. Number 2 is the consideration phase, and then number 3 is the conversion phase. The far majority of people are spending all their time, energy, and money on the consideration phase. And I'm going to share some stats with you. That's the smallest part of your market. It is very small. It's less than 10% of your market that's going to be in this stage. And that's where the majority of people are advertising. So there's a ton of competition. So I'm going to teach you in this training here of how to market to the people in the second stage and the first stage, which is much, much, much more people. They're not ready yet, though. You have to understand that. So this is a long-term play. They're not ready yet. However, nobody's marketing to these people. So if you market to them up front, when they get to that consideration phase, that third phase, you're going to be the obvious choice. You're coming across as the trusted advisor by marketing this way. So let's dive right in. All right, here's the training. Here's my little thumbnail that I designed for the old YouTube's video. I'm getting better and better with graphic design here. I actually use the software that helped me create it. But anyways, let's dive right in here. This is the graph that I was referencing, the pyramid. It's called Demand Generation, Analyzing the Buying Phases of Your Target Market. And this little green triangle, as you can tell, is 3% people who are ready to purchase. In the far majority, I would say 90 to 95 plus people marketing on Facebook are either marketing to this green triangle or this little orange piece here, meaning the top 10% of their market. Just such a small piece. And really, as you can tell, the green piece is ready to purchase. Orange is open to buying, but they're not actively looking for a solution to their problem. You might be able to convince them, you might be able to hit them at the right time, but they're not actively searching. So I kind of like to imagine a little line right here, and this being the top of the water, and this being the iceberg right here. And everyone's looking at the top of the iceberg. Ooh, how pretty, and all the boats are surrounding the little top of the iceberg. However, there is 90% of the market underwater that not many people are paying attention to. It's much cheaper to advertise to these people. It's much more effective. However, these people aren't ready today, tomorrow, or next Tuesday. They might be 60 days out. They might be 120 days out. These people down here in the red, they might be 3 or 4 years out. So it takes time and it takes patience, and it's going to take some work, as I explain later in the next couple of slides. It's going to take work. It's going to take effort. However, you should be able to 3x, 5x, maybe even 10x your return on investment talking to a lot better leads. And I'm going to explain it more in the coming slides. But as you can see, the blue here, not thinking about it or they're indifferent. The purple, think they aren't interested. So the people in the blue and the purple, they could be using a competitor, depending on what your product or service is. And maybe at the time they're happy with their competitor. But things change, companies change, people change, needs change. And at any given moment, they might need a better solution. You might offer that better solution. So again, if you're marketing to them right here, they might be curious. Wow, this company offers XYZ. I'm somewhat happy with my current company, but I want to see what they have. And then they kind of move up that chain towards that green when they're ready to purchase. And then obviously the bottom one, as you can see, no, they aren't interested. Again, if you studied your target market and you know their target market, they're not interested right now, but they might be interested in a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. Who knows? Who knows what it is? It could be years down the road. However, these people are eventually going to be ready. So I'm not telling you to not market to this top 10%. That would be idiotic. What I'm telling you is far majority are marketing up here, and they're all fighting for the same small 3 to 10% of the market. What I'm telling you is allocate some of your budget from up here down over these 3 pieces right here, or these 3 timelines, or these 3 chunks of the target market. You want to advertise down here as well. So I'm going to explain it a little bit in here. So the top 10%, that's marketing to people who have a need right now. And really that 7%, they have a need, but they're not actively looking. Like I said, you might be able to convince them if you have a Godfather-like offer, one they simply cannot refuse, then they might be able to jump, they might be able to ready purchase today. So there's the 2 tiers, that top 10%, and then of course the lower 90%. Marketing to people who don't have a need today, but at some point, someday, they will have a need. Again, 60 days out, 90, 120, 180, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the road. So the opportunity, rather than trying to engage with them when they have a need, engage with them in the lower 90%. And there are many benefits to this. You are establishing the relationship early on, before the need. You're leading with value. You're developing rapport. You're creating an opportunity to build up that know, like, and trust factor. Those 3 things that are crucial in business. They're crucial in the online world. Also, like I said, lower advertising cost over time, because these people are going to be willing to work with you. It's going to be easier to... there's not going to be much persuasion or much convincing, I guess I should say, not necessarily persuasion. And I'll get to that in just a second. So this all happens, like I said, long before they have a need. Could be months, it could be years before they have a need. You become the trusted advisor by doing this because initially you are putting out content, and we're going to talk about that here in a second, but you're putting out content to educate them, to entertain them, to elevate them. Those are the 3 E's that I like to follow. Any of my content, I try to educate, I try to entertain, and I try to elevate. Sometimes I do 2 out of the 3, and when I'm really feeling it, I hit 3 for 3, and I bat 1,000 that day, putting out content. So those are the 3 E's that I follow. I advise you to do the same. And then when their time comes and they need that solution that your product or service offers, you become the obvious choice. Probably my favorite oxymoron out there, but they're not going to go shopping around. They're likely, I'm not going to say they're not going to go shopping around, but they're likely not to go shopping around or not shop around as much. They're likely to not price shop, because if you built that know, like, and trust, you built value, you built a relationship over time, they're going to come to you when they need your products or service. And they're probably going to refer you to people as well, just because you're going to market unlike 99.99% of your competition. So this is called the buyer's journey. It's 3 stages. It's really popular in marketing, in the marketing world. So there's obviously the awareness stage, the consideration phase stage, and the decision stage. So the circles here represent the content that you're going to want to put out, or the action. So in the awareness stage, you're going to want to put out free white papers, guides, tip sheets, ebooks, checklists, videos, interviews, podcast kits. Any combination of the above. It doesn't have to be either. It can be all of them, some of them, one of them. Then this next stage, in the consideration stage, you're going to put out webinars, case studies, samples, product spec catalogs. These typically, you are going to provide them in exchange for some contact information, their name, their email, their phone number, maybe some other information that you want. Then this becomes a lead. And this content, these formats, these are interchangeable. You can give a white paper out in this stage here by asking for a name, email, phone number. You could write up a case study on a blog and post it here. I've done that many times. I had a case study I did years ago for Shopify, a coaching student. I got so many leads from that one blog post, and a lot of coaching clients from that one blog post. It was a free blog post, and I just ran Facebook traffic to that specific blog post and made thousands and thousands of dollars just from the blog post. So again, the content here is interchangeable in these 2 stages. And then this 3rd stage, again, this is where the majority of people are spending most of their time, money, and energy on Facebook. They're going for the free trials. They're going for the free demonstrations. They're going for the consultations, the sales calls, the appointments, the estimates, the quotes, the coupons, whatever you want to call it. That's where the majority of time, money, and energy is being spent currently. So like I said, I want you to kind of split up your budget, allocate some here and allocate some here. I want you to notice something real quick here. So this is called awareness, consideration, and decision. Again, it's a very popular buyer's journey. Here's a screenshot inside of Facebook. Look at that. Awareness, consideration, and Facebook refers to it as conversion over decision. I think it was decision. So just the word is different. But Facebook lays out their ads manager along the buyer's journey. They want us to succeed. Obviously, the more money you spend with Facebook, the more money they make. So, contrary to popular belief, some people think Facebook's out to get us who invest money into them. That's not the case. They want to help. They want you to do good. So, they're helping us out and basically giving us a roadmap of the buyer's journey. Hey, here's the awareness stage. Here's the consideration stage, and here's the conversion stage. Now, some of these objectives can be either or, like you can run traffic in the awareness stage, you could run engagement in the awareness stage, you could run video views in the awareness stage. This lead generation could certainly be in the conversion stage. So some of these can cross over. It's not like set in stone where you can only run these two campaigns. But I just wanted to kind of show you, I thought that was kind of ironic how Facebook, they refer to it as the same, with the exception of this word. It means the same. It's just a semantics, I guess you could call it. So step number one, I've kind of already mentioned it earlier. You're going to have to publish content. You have to publish content in today's world. In 2019, you have to put out content to generate awareness, to generate attention. Attention and awareness is it's the new economy, and nowadays, with it being so crowded out there, with so many messages out there, your content is going to have to be consistent and cut through the noise. So you can publish blog posts. You can write on, like your website. Obviously, you can start a blog on your website. I also recommend using like medium.com. I also recommend linkedin.com. Those two are great platforms because they already have huge audiences, and you'll be able to siphon some of that attention away, grab some of that attention from their built-in audience that they already have. I typically, if I write a blog post, I typically copy and paste it, I share it on Medium, and I share it on LinkedIn. So I kind of kill three birds with one stone. A podcast. So obviously there's three types of content: written, audio, and visual. The second being a podcast. You can start a podcast very simple. You don't have to go and spend all this money. I use an app called Anchor.fm. It's a free app on the phone. There's no charge for it. There's no monthly fee. I have no idea how they do it. I think they have a paid version, maybe. They make money somehow. Spotify actually just bought them out. You literally download the app, you click the red button, and you record into your phone your podcast. Then you click the red button again, it stops the recording, you title it, you add a description, you hit publish, and it goes to iTunes, and then it goes to Google Play, and it goes to Spotify, and it goes to like 8 or 9 other podcast platforms. You don't do anything. I've recorded about a little over 70 podcasts, all from my phone. I typically do it when I do it in the kitchen for some reason, and I walk in circles around the island in the kitchen, and I just record like a 5 to 7 minute. It's very, very simple to do. You could do it in the car, you could do it while you're taking a walk, you could do it in the morning, before you go to bed. Just find the time to create content, to create a podcast, if that's what you want to do. I recommend doing something you're comfortable with. If you're a good writer, blog. If you have a face for radio like I do, start a podcast. If you enjoy video, start a YouTube channel. And then video, obviously, is the last one. You could do Facebook live streams, you could do Instagram video, you could do video on Facebook, just the native video. Obviously, YouTube's the big one. I publish 2 videos every week on YouTube. I'm a single dad of a 4 and a 6-year-old. I find the time to do it. I've re-recorded this video so many damn times. It's disgusting how much time I've spent on this one specific video. So you have to make the time to do it. The number one excuse I hear when I tell people you have to publish content, you have to produce content, I don't have the time. And I said, bullshit. You have to make the time. If you want to be successful, you have to make the time. And you can certainly make the time. Cut Netflix off. Get up 15 minutes earlier. Go to bed 15 minutes later. If you want to succeed, you need to find the time or make the time. Create the time somehow. Allocate your life. See what you're doing. Check your screen time on your iPhone. You'll probably be disgusted like I used to be. I was like 3.5 hours plus on my phone. Some days 4 to 5 hours. I cut out some apps. Did some restrictions. Now I spend about 2.5 hours. I have I've shaved off about a good hour and a half on average every day with my phone. It gives me more time. I can create videos like this. I can write emails. I can create blog posts, record podcasts, whatever it is. So find the time. So 20 type of content. A lot of people ask what kind of content should I put out, and here is a good one. Frequently asked questions. So if you're in whatever industry you're in, sit down and think of the frequently asked questions you've been asked over the years. I just put 20 up there. Come up with 10, come up with 50, whatever you want to come up with. Write those down. That is a topic. Each question is a blog post topic or a podcast episode or a video on YouTube or Facebook. And if you think you don't have the time, you might think, tell a story, intertwine a story into it to stretch out the length of the blog post or the podcast. You can reference, hey, a client, I helped this client do this. They were asking about this, which is a common question. I helped them do ABC and they got XYZ, blah, blah, blah. The next is 20 SAQs. So this is should ask questions. And this is really powerful because you're telling them, let's say, for example, I'm a life insurance salesman and I am putting out some type of a document or a blog post or a podcast. And I'm going to say, if I was to go find life insurance, I sell life insurance, but I would say if I'm going to go buy life insurance from someone, these are the 7 questions I would ask any life insurance agent. Now you're positioning yourself as the trusted advisor. You're telling them, you're guiding them, saying, hey, these are the questions I would ask. You're not trying to sell them. You're not trying to pitch them. You're truly helping them out. If you're a real estate agent, you could say, hey, if I was going to buy a house and I was in my early 30s, these are the 17 questions I would ask a realtor before hiring them. Something along those lines. You could do it loan officer, insurance, car dealership, whatever it is. These should ask questions are really, really powerful. So those are your starting points. Come up with some frequently asked questions. Come up with some should ask questions. That should give you a baseline of content for your content strategy. So step number 2 is after you create the content, you need to promote the content. Now you're going to use Facebook advertising, obviously, to promote the content. If it's a blog post or a podcast, typically put your podcast on your website. You're going to send traffic from Facebook to your website. You're going to have the Facebook Pixel installed. I have a video right up here that you could watch on how to install the Pixel, and you're going to create custom audiences. I have a video on how to create custom audiences right up there as well. And you're going to create custom audiences for these people. So if they've visited your website and consumed any type of your content, you're going to move into that consideration phase and show them lead magnets, webinars, things where they're going to give you in exchange for their name, email, and phone number. So that's the second step. First step is creating the content. Second step is promoting the content and putting out your offers. There you have it, Dadpreneurs. That is how you triple your return on investment in Facebook advertising, if not even more. Again, it's a longer process. It's a phased approach. It's basically building a funnel with content inside the Facebook platform. Again, this funnel is going to work for you 24/7, 365. It's always on. It's always working for you. Like I think I mentioned it in the intro video, I had such a hard time recording that damn training. It's late. It's 11:15. I did like 27 takes on that damn thing. Finally got it done. But that's what happens. I've been doing video recording and editing for the last 8 hours. My brain is fried, so sometimes things take way longer than planned. So that is why it took so long. But anyways, back to what I was talking about is that strategy takes longer. And I'm not sure I mentioned this in the intro video. It seems like it's been 6 weeks ago now. I got into a new vertical about 2 weeks ago, something I'm kind of exploring. I have a website, started running Facebook ads, actually last Sunday, a week ago today, and I generated my first lead on Saturday morning, yesterday morning. It ended up not being, I called her this afternoon, it wasn't a good fit. It was kind of a mistake on her part. Anyways, I'm doing this exact strategy. I'm doing it with content. This is in an industry that is predominantly does cold calling. It does a lot of direct mail, a lot of old school marketing from I don't even call it marketing, advertising, from 1985. And I'm like, man, this industry could really use some inbound marketing. And that's one of that's what appealed to me. I'm going to go into more details about it later. It's so brand new, I don't want to talk about it, but over the coming months, I'm sure I'll talk about it. I will be recording videos about it, about the success, but it's going to be like the ultimate case study for inbound marketing because I'm such a fan of it. And I tell people all the time, quit cold calling, quit direct mail, do this. Not to say that that shit doesn't work. I just think it's terribly inefficient. This is a much more efficient way. And hopefully soon, in the matter of the next couple months, I'll have, like I said, the ultimate case study to share and to prove my point that this is the way to generate business. It doesn't matter what industry. So hey, that's it for now. If you like these types of videos, hit that subscribe button, click that little bell notification, because I put out videos every Monday and Thursday, sometimes Sundays, at least twice a week. I'm putting out videos. As always, if you have comments, questions, or concerns, drop them down below. I'll be happy to answer them. If I can't answer them, I'll try to find someone who can, or point you in the right direction, or point you in the right resource. I'll do what I can to help. Again, as always, thank you for watching. I do appreciate it.